Zoom meetings earlier.
Yeah, my internet decided to be extra quanta here. So I may go in and out. You just have to carry the man, you look crystal clear for some reason.
Huh. Well, that's good.
Why would you look better? What did you get in the mail?
You know what is so funny about what you're doing is that I'm actually not using your camera.
Really? Why
You remember
not?
how last time we were streaming, it was more like you couldn't hear me that well, it was echoing?
It was pulling the audio from that microphone?
Yeah, because I had to get a splitter in order to set up both the microphone and the camera. I think you
Oh.
talked about this on one of your videos recently, how you needed, like, a special plug.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so I gotta stick to mine
Is
for
your
now.
phone vibrating like right next to the camera?
Yeah, mhm.
Okay, move that away from the or from the microphone. Oh.
Well,
All right,
blame
but
you
you do
know
have
who.
you have a new microphone though too.
I do. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I've had this one for a year, but yeah.
you have.
Mhm.
Oh, maybe I just don't pay attention. All right, you got new equipment. All right, but it looks good. For some reason, your lighting is really good right now.
I think it's just because I got out of the shower and shaved,
Oh,
probably.
that might be it too. So I'm not a software engineer, but has it happened to you? You could pick any browser now, and the people who are in charge of the browser, whether that's Edge or Chrome or Firefox, they're giving us updates like every week about, hey, this is what's going on at Firefox. Does that happen to you, or is it just me?
No, it happens to me, and, I'll just say you should be really happy you don't have to deal with the iPhone bullshit. In fact, I'm thinking of just getting out of that whole thing because it's
I
worse with
it's
iPhones.
you do know outside the United States it is no one has Apple. I mean, it's just the United States, and it's a pretentious luxury good. You get an Android and just be done with it.
I'm gonna do that. I'm so sick of Apple, man. But then I say this to people and they're like, "Oh, but iMessage, the blue text." I'm like, "I just don't give a fuck anymore."
The I think now Apple. Keep in mind, it's a fashion product. It is not electronics, unless
Yeah.
you're in content creation like music and video editing. That they do. So I could see people like if you were in the arts, digital editing or something. I could see that. But for the
Yeah.
rest of you, it's like you can't afford a car, so you're gonna brag about your phone. And for those of you who are phone users, and you just use it for texting and all that, you don't need that. You save yourself the money, um, save yourself the time, and just get yourself an Android. And it could be a used Android too. It doesn't have to be a new one.
I'm about to do it on principle because I swear every other week it's like, "Oh, we have to update your iOS," and
Right.
this will. It's
Uh,
sick of it.
Though that's just operating system updates, which Apple shouldn't be doing. That was kind of one of the things like, oh, we just programmed our operating system the right way. Well, apparently not on the phones. I'm talking browsers.
Oh
Like,
no, this happens with Chrome all the time. Because
really,
do you use Chrome or do you use
I'm using
Firefox?
Chrome right now because Firefox is, I think, the cause of why I wasn't getting good internet here or in Vegas the last time. So my recording quality, I've had better luck using Chrome. That may or may not be it. It may be luck, but I've switched to Chrome. But it doesn't matter what browser I use. I am wondering, and I always ask, I throw the questions out there for the internet to answer for people like someone who programs Firefox, someone programs Chrome. Okay, guys, do you have no lives? Do you think there's one person on this goddamn planet that gives one flying fuck about this is the latest from Chrome? We don't care. Have you ever read through one of those things like, hey, Firefox, if you got the new Firefox, check out all the new functionality? Have you ever clicked on that?
No, I think very, very, very few people click on those things. At least I
I,
hope.
I, it's just the economist in me, but I wonder what would life be like if you just designed the product to do the fucking thing and not nag us, not spam us with email. I mean, we could go any which way. But for example, the airlines. Now I know why the airlines email me. Why do airlines email you 4 days before your flight? It's not the check-in email. It's just the what you should know about your flight email. You get those?
Yes, in fact, I've asked the one time I took Allegiant Air, and I think you know
Mhm,
what time that is.
mm.
I've unsubscribed from them about 10 times, and I'm still getting their shit, but yeah,
I
it's usually what to know for the flight.
Right, and the what to know for the flight email is only so you accidentally navigate their complex login and check in and then add an extra seat or add an extra like, it is very hard to fit. Delta does it and all that. I don't need the what to know about my flight. I'm just wondering, what if all these people, um, not were murdered, but somehow died and never came back? Not by my hand, not but they just got all heart attacks. Not only would no one miss them, but we would all, I'd say, improve. Like GDP would go up by easily 2 or 3% because you're wasting your time with these stupid freaking emails. And the Chrome loads up and it does it go to the website? Does it go to my homepage that I want it to go to?
Mm-mm.
No, because it's much more important. I learn about these sexless virgin fuck wonders over in Silicon Valley and what new anal retentive granular bit of functionality they made to Chrome. And so that was what got me here. I don't know about you, but sometimes in a rush, I like to get my things done. And that extra 3 seconds of my life could have gone to playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Well, you
Uh,
can imagine how wonderful I feel when this happens. I don't know, February, March, and April, when I gotta sit there and let it do its thing when I just really don't need that.
yeah, they really, and there's also, I'm not even joking about this in the slightest. We get excited about a 2% real percent GDP growth rate. And I think in previous times there would be uh, everyone knew about being polite. Well, that's impolite. Why would you do that? Don't harass that people. Don't bother them. That's impolite. Why would you program that? Nobody wants that. No, that's impolite. Now they don't give a shit. And I'm not even talking like spam calls. It's just like, guys, Silicon Valley, what in the ever loving name of fuck are you like? You're spending money on this? It's costing them some, right?
Listen, man, they did something which I think you would actually support, and this was
Okay.
recent in their most recent update. When you have the iPhone, it's really annoying because every time you'd be typing a text and you'd want to say, this fucking sucks, it would automatically default to this ducking
Looking.
sucks.
It only took them
Yeah.
15 years to fix this.
Well, yeah, that was all over Twitter the other day. They're like, "Oh, we finally made it, so it won't automatically switch to ducking." I'm like,
Oh my
"Oh,
god. Who's the
okay."
president and CEO of Apple?
Tim Cook?
Cook.
Is that his name?
Yeah, he needs to be kicked in the nuts. Like that
Yes.
guy is paid however many hundreds of millions over the course and has stock ownership. He's highly compensated, and it took this nutless fuck wonder that long to come up with something common sense. And I don't even want to know how many we're talking billions and millions of human hours they have spent on functionality no one ever asked for. Like, let me ask you this. Microsoft Word or Excel. Could you do your job using Office 97?
No.
You couldn't?
No, not Excel. There's too much I gotta sort through that Office 97 doesn't do. But Word,
Really?
yeah. Yeah, if you
Word.
mean Word,
Okay. All right.
everything
Word.
except Excel, yeah, like, it wouldn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe, but I think for your average non CPA, like I'm like looking at Excel. I don't use Microsoft Excel
Y
anymore. I use like Apache or something like that.
yeah, you don't
But
have to.
all this shit, all these craps, all these buttons, I'm like, look, this is great if you happen to be a statistician or an actuary or a CPA. But for come out with that version. But they just so much time wasted. Just so much time wasted.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying, like, half the stuff on Ex well, more than half the stuff on Excel, like, not only do I not use it, I don't think anybody uses it, and I don't think
Mm.
anybody knows it exists, so
Well, some nerds got programmed that paid a lot of money to come up with all that functionality. But imagine this world where like I designed everything, which of course I would think would be the greatest world ever. But hear me out on this. Like there wouldn't be notifications. You wouldn't get emails from, hey, we're here over at the Procter and Gamble family. Just want to let you know, or here at Walgreens, we just want, or the surveys. Remember, you get emails about
Yeah.
how was your experience? Fuck off. It's bad now that you emailed me about it. I'll let you know if it's bad. Fuck off.
That's all iPhone apps do. You'll be literally, like, using it for the one time you need to use it, and a thing will pop up in the middle of what you're doing. "Rate us, how are we
Yeah.
doing?"
Hey, how you
By
doing?
default, I just give them 1 star, and then they're like, "Well, why? Why? Tell us
Why?
why," and then you just
Why?
X out of there.
Did.
Yeah. And
Why'd you
droids don't do
divorce
that?
her? Why aren't you talking to me? Why are you hanging up? Why are you leaving? I don't understand.
Droids don't do that, I'm guessing.
Droids don't. No, they do. Like, well, see, the app is the app market, the app economy. I don't understand that either. It's a free app, okay, but it runs ads down below. Okay, I get the business model, but do they need higher ratings on the Google store or the Apple store? So people say, oh, it's a good app. And if that's the case, how I got an idea. I just this would just be president and CEO Cappy of Silicon Valley. Right. I don't know a damn thing about technology. I just say, all right, we're paying a bunch of Pakistanis to write real, glorious reviews. We're not going to send out evals or emails. And there's your 4.7 star rating. That's it. We're done. And I just increased the profits of Apple by like 40% on my first year. We didn't even spend no more money. We just through profit margin. And then people would start to like us. They wouldn't have podcasts about God Christ, Safari essay. We here at the Safari family want to let you know for left-handed people who are quarter Jewish and have only one nut but aren't with the funny mustache type, you can go and subscribe. Just what if it all went away?
Just real quick, do you have any dealings with Reddit, or have you ever done anything with
A
Reddit or
while
gone on
ago, I
there?
would post in the blogging days. I would post my articles there, and it just
Mhm.
became so. It was woke, it was leftist, it was biased, and if
Still is.
and conservatives and libertarians had a hell of a time. And now it's just like, no, I'm not dealing with the Redditors, and thankfully, there's enough alternative platforms that I think Reddit is in the dustbin of history.
Well, I mention it because today, like most of Reddit in protests, like all these boards, all these moderators, I don't know if you heard
What
about
are these
this.
worthless
Exactly. They
veg
all
juice vials complaining about now?
well, I'd be interested on where you fall on the fence on this one.
Huh?
They were complaining that Reddit was removing themselves from various other apps because they were making it too expensive or something like that, and these people were like doing that out of protest.
Wait,
It
hang
was
on. Isn't Reddit free?
No, Reddit's free, but to put it on other apps, and I don't even know which apps they're talking about. Maybe somebody in the chat can.
Wait. Okay. So we're talking on phones or computers.
I think it's phones and computers. I think mainly computers, probably.
Okay.
Um,
So there's a program, say Microsoft Word, and Reddit can be an app you pay for to have installed on top of Microsoft Word.
I think it gets embedded either into other apps or maybe other programs. Look, man, I didn't understand it that much either.
Oh,
Yeah, did you
okay.
hear about this?
You get a new phone, right? You
Yeah.
didn't install one damn app on that thing. You open up, there's 48 apps that you're like, what the fuck is all this shit?
Yeah, like, do you so Nick and Steve says something to do with the API costs. I don't know what that is, but that was
Well,
the
let's
big
look
thing
it
when I
up.
woke up this morning. It was like, "Oh, Reddit
API.
has gone dark. Oh my god, the horror." So, I was
What is
just seeing
API?
if you heard about that, but I guess not.
API. On average, it costs $20,000 to build a relatively simple API. I think it means an app.
It's
How
the
much it
Reddit
cost you to build
API.
an API? What's an API?
Application Programming Interface, according to our dudes in the chat here. Well, for whatever reason, Reddit was it was too expensive for the API, and
All
so
right.
as a response, all these moderators that really, I mean, they work for free, but all they're doing is sitting on the internet all day, trolling comments. They made all of the boards like dark. So the one Reddit place I go, the tax board was like
Yeah.
dark. You couldn't get on it. So
So are these Redditors paid by Reddit based off of the sales they get from API? So Reddit's trying to save money by not having these APIs that then automatically install them on computers or phones.
So according to the chat, an API basically lets you access data from Reddit. So I don't know exactly what happened here, but it's like so it's just an interface for third-party software to access Reddit, and it
Okay.
got yeah, there was some kind of protest about it getting too expensive, and you
All right.
talking about those software programs made me think of it.
See, this is so stupid. This is what I'm
It
talking
is
about.
stupid, yeah.
This is look at how much time we're wasting here. Not you and me, but so instead of relying on people to have choice, certain software companies, which is kind of what Reddit is, and different websites, will pay to have their app bundled with other software or automatically installed on computers and phones, even though you don't have. But if you were to open up some program or an app, it has it so that you could, for whatever obscure reason, while I'm checking, I don't know, investment accounts on the Fidelity app, I can also open up Reddit while I'm on the Fidelity app. And
So,
Reddit has to pay Fidelity money to be on to be automatically installed along with the Fidelity app.
according to Cynic in the
Yeah.
chat,
Okay.
all the moderation tools use the Reddit API, and they're starting to charge a bunch of money to use the APIs, which
That
the
makes more
tools can't
sense.
afford. So
Oh,
I think if I get this right, the moderators are to use the APIs,
that happened.
which the tools can't afford. Sorry, so, 1 sec, man. I think if I get this right, the moderators are
you probably have a browser open.
which
Well, it's done now. Oh, you muted it.
they must have been listening to us because that popped up on my phone automatically. I'm serious.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't. Yeah, and pop-ups like, hey, I got an idea to really put sand in everyone's vagina. Let's have pop-ups. That'd be a
So
great
seriously,
idea.
on my phone, it just like popped up.
Right. All
Anyway,
right. So, all right, that makes more sense because the same. You've heard of Meetup, right? You've gone to Meetup
yeah,
groups.
meetup.
Okay. So I created a Meetup group years ago called the Work from Home group or whatever it was for people who were bored working at home, and we go meet up in the daytime, and everyone, oh my God, we really need this is great. But like every
They
other Meetup
flaked.
group, yeah, I'll show up, and like 10% of the people show up as just me and some fat guy. So they charge you to run a Meetup group,
They
and
charged you.
they charge you, right? So if you want to create a Meetup group, well, they got to make their money somehow, and I don't begrudge them of that. But Reddit's doing the same thing. You want to run this Reddit subreddit, we're going to charge you because you're using our, and you must therefore be personally or psychologically, emotionally, or intellectually involved enough to pay us. Otherwise, we're not making them. Because it sounds like Reddit's going to go away if they don't make money. What it sounds to me.
I guess. I mean, it's been around forever.
Yeah, but that's because a bunch of dumb VC cap. Hang on, let's take a look at Reddit income statement.
I was just annoyed because the tax Reddit is the Tax Pros Reddit. It's actually pretty useful if you want to get some feedback on some stuff. And I had a legit thing I wanted to run by some people, and it's like, oh, this board has gone dark. I'm like, what? So I checked the news, and yeah, Reddit was like shut down.
Well, here, I mean, ballparking it, I'm on Crunch Database. They may be a private firm, so you can't find it. Reddit has raised a total of 1.3 billion in funding over 10 rounds. Their latest funding was raised on August 12th of 2021 in a Series F round. Chad, does that sound like they're making money if you're doing a series? If you're raising money at all, are you making money?
No, unless you're trying to pull a real scam.
Or you're maybe going to acquire another company and they're on Series F.
Series F.
Yeah.
F stands for fail.
F, I mean, which is what, 7, 6? 6. Hang on. Let me try. Is Reddit profitable?
And apparently they're only going to go private for 2 days. So it's a kind of a silly protest, but all it did was kind of ruin my morning when I actually wanted to use it for something productive.
After a year after launch, Reddit, there's a pop-up. Reddit sold to Condé Nast. Oh, Condé Nast is the worst. They're like in charge of like that Boldy and shehuha.org, like all the girly publications. The hate men publications, like
Yeah.
yeah. Remains largest shareholder. Diluted. It's the Huffman. All right, so we'd have to go to Condé Nast may not even be public. Updates to funding rounds recently valued. Reddit was, okay. Here we go. Generate 350 million 2021. Value 10 billion. Okay, so they didn't list profits. They just list revenue. So yeah, you're not profitable. Yeah, they list users, they list valuations, they list funding, but you guys aren't profitable. So I'm wondering, because if interest rates going up, and these hedge funds, venture capital people, like they get. Tell me if this doesn't make sense. I just answered a question that's kind of lightly going around in my head. You ask, why is the venture capital running away now? Like what if they're equity investors? Like then they wouldn't be interest rate sensitive. What if the venture capital firms and hedge funds are borrowing the money at 0% interest rate? And then they go, that's what it is. I can almost guarantee you that's what it is, because these are dude bro finance, douchebags with their Patagonia vests and their coffees. All right. They don't use their own money, bro.
Mm-mm.
Like they just take other money. And if it's at like 1.8%, and you go invest, bro, we're going to lend it at 7%. Yeah, they actually, and then you wait for the next schmuck sucker venture capital firm to lend up. Because how much you want to bet this? The latest round of funding, what do you think some of that money goes to, Chad?
Latest round of funding. Who would it go to?
Okay, I'm a douchebag, talentless hack. Like 90% of the people in Silicon Valley. I got a business idea. It's not making no money. I get some funding. All the funding is debt. I don't care what they call it or hybrid. It's debt. All right. It's got to be paid back. So my first round of funding is $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
I get successful on the internet. I don't make any money. I'm just popular. All right. And we're going based on valuations. Like some company would buy us someday. It's my idea, bro. I don't make any money, so I can't use profits to pay off the debt. And no one's going to invest equity in my firm. What do I do?
Man, I guess I'm drawing a blank here. I guess
Series B funding. So I have 500 million coming due. I do $1 billion Series B funding, which is just another loan, half of which pays off the original loan. We're hiring more people. Series C. Now I paid off the $1 billion with a $1.5 billion funding.
Oh, a Ponzi scheme.
It becomes a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Because you're like the last venture capitalist to lend the company money, and inevitably the company doesn't have the cash flow to pay him back, or they can't find the fifth venture capital bank or consortium of banks to lend them $2.8 billion to pay off the 2.5. It all comes collapsing down at that point. See what I'm saying? And because interest rates are higher, venture capitals and hedge funds and any other investor can't borrow at 2%, and they got to borrow at 7%. And so now they require higher. And I bet you, I figured it out, Chad. I bet you their investors are coming up to them saying, you need to make more money because we're charging 6% and you aren't making it. And now they're going to start charging Redditors, right? They're called Redditors.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Cynic in Chief explained the technical side. I figured out the finance side. So my opinion, long and belabored and circuitous as it took to get here, what I think about it, I think it's hilarious. I think most Redditors are assholes. I think not all, of course, but most of you just a bunch of unemployed leftist.
They're self-important, and they're very leftist.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some it's a biased, anti-American, anti-male, anti-libertarian, anti-conservative, anti-probably white, typical woke Silicon Valley company. They're not making money. You are an economic efficiency loss, and it could be that we are witnessing the end of Reddit as an entity. It was never viable, but like the show might be over. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is squeeze any kind of money they can get out of people now. Otherwise, here's the other thing, Redditors, you better pay, because I have a feeling they're going to go away if you don't, because they're not going to be able to make their Series Q funding this time.
It's not something I'm ever going to pay for. I mean, I've been on that, that Tax Pros board for 10 years now, and it's been great, but I'm not going to give it a single dime. I'm not paying for that.
No, I'm not. And it's no offense to them. It's just you don't want to give your money to Reddit.
Right, because I don't
No.
want to give it to Reddit. They hate me, and they're proving it.
Speaking of people who hate you and they're proving it, I'm at a quandary, which is what the topic of the show I want to talk about. So I go to the Twin Cities. I go for the billion things I had to do. Anniversaries, graduations, all that other stuff. So, but I still go to the gym because I want to get the girls. Now I go to Anytime.
Is that the one I went with you to in Vegas? To
No,
Anytime?
this is we're in the Twin Cities now.
Right, but I didn't know the name of the gym. That
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
Anytime. Yeah. Now
Mhm.
I love Anytime. I've been there like I think 15 years. It's been a while. It's been over a decade.
Mhm.
They're all over. They got showers. That was the thing, especially back in my motorcycling days. They had showers, and so fine gym. People are like, oh, there's cheaper. There's like Fitness 19 and Planet Fitness and other places. I'm like, the guy aside, it's fine. So I go to one of the gyms in the Twin Cities. I go to the men's bathroom. It says men's bathroom. What's in the men's bathroom, Chad?
Well, I already got the spoiler
Oh,
alert, but it doesn't surprise me that there were tampons in there. I mean, they're doing it here. Dude, they're doing it here.
tampons in the men's bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'm done. I'm
So
just
you're gonna
done.
quit
I'm done.
officially?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And this is where the problem. Now, best I can figure it out, maybe someone who works in the gym industry could tell me. Your gym, like where you go, you pay Anytime corporate, right? And then they allocate your fees to the gym you go to the most. And I always get a notification saying, like, hey, we notice you're in Vegas. We have moved your headquarters to Vegas. Then I come back to South Dakota. Hey, you're in South Dakota. We're going to move your headquarters back there. And so I think that's how they allocate the revenue. And so where I feel bad is these are all franchisors or franchisees, I presume. It's not like they're all corporate and they're certainly not managed. And so I think it's no different than McDonald's. Like you can own multiple gyms or Anytimes. You're just under the banner and the logo. And so I go into a gym that is not my home gym. It's under the Anytime Fitness banner. And there's tampons in the men's bathroom. And it's not even there certainly is an anti-woke aspect to it, but what do you think perturbs me more than that?
Uh, I think that I guess that it doesn't make any sense to you more than anything. Like, there's no men that are gonna be in there that need tampons.
It's simpler than that. There's fucking tampons in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Get the fucking tampons out of the bathroom. This is not the woke is only 49%. It's a big factor. Smug little Minnesota people like, oh my God, we just care so much. It's like, no, this is the line. I'm sick of it. I would like to think conservatives, libertarians are simply not Democrats, like men, like remove politics, men. You're like, yeah, there isn't going to be tampons in the men's bathroom. Put it in the women's bathrooms. Have an asexual bathroom. Have it in one of those dispensaries. All right. I'm not tolerating tampons right next to me when I got to take a shit. It's just not happening. So now the quandary I face, or the paradox is it's going to now punish the Rapid City entrepreneur who is not, I'm going to assume, a rabid Marxist leftist male hater. I'm done with you're just trying to be able. No, you hate guys. That's like, if I put a picture of a penis in the women's bathroom, it's just a picture of a penis. It's just that. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. They're going to lose my business. So Vegas and Rapid City are, I'm sure they split it 6 months apiece. They're both going to lose my business for something they didn't do, but was unconsciously ordained by the Anytime Fitness Corporation. So I'm kind of like, well, it's not their fault, but at the same time, I can't let this go unanswered because no, I'm drawing the line here because Lord knows what other dumbass shit we're going to have to tolerate. And don't I have the utmost of faith of people in Washington State and Seattle and Oregon and Minnesota and California. I have the utmost of faith of the men out there. Like, it's okay to have tampons. They're like, no, I'm not me. And I'm kind of hopeful. You look at the Bud Light thing and you look at Target, like, okay, there's like, oh my God, the normal people are starting to wake the fuck up. The conservative men and the libertarian men have found their fucking balls. And well, hey, I mean, your kids are in like horrifically bad schools. That wasn't bad enough to like get your kid out of school or homeschool, but your light beer was messed with. So holy shit. Now that was, but don't care how you got here. But I just think there's actually an opportunity. I'm not specifically for Anytime Fitness, but philosophically, ethically, like you guys don't have to tolerate this. You really don't.
Well, I mean, I would probably not punish the individual franchisees, especially if it was like really convenient, you know? I mean, like you
Mhm.
went to that one in Vegas a ton, I'm sure, and I think you use one there too. So I don't know. I don't think I would mess with that. Yeah, I'm annoyed too, and it's pretty frustrating, but as long as they don't have tampons in the ones you go to regularly, I think I'd let it slide,
Right.
actually.
Okay. Well, and I mean, it is the franchisee's right to do whatever the hell they want with their individual thing.
It should be.
Yeah, well, it should be, yeah, and I have the right, but it's almost like does if something falls under a brand name, but isn't necessary. I mean, isn't even this wouldn't even necessarily be Anytime Fitness corporate's fault. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at a little bit of a quandary, but but at the same time, it's like no, something's got to be done. Like maybe we could say, look, if you're already in Anytime Fitness and your gym is fine, okay, go to that gym. And if you keep going to the gyms that they don't have tampons in the bathroom, the ones with the tampons in the bathroom are going to be, punished. They'll lose revenue or whatever. But if you haven't signed up for Anytime Fitness, maybe don't.
Mhm.
Or maybe just go to because what gym can you say what gym you go to?
Yeah, I go to LA Fitness. Now they don't do it there. They don't do it there, but I mean, I've been to some other places here when I've been out recently, and I went to the men's room, and these are not gyms, and I saw tampons in there. I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, they're not gyms?
No. I mean, there were I went to a bar.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I was in an area of town because it was somebody's birthday party. I was in an area of town where you would expect this type of thing.
Well, what, Boys Town?
No, it's actually in Logan Square, which
Okay,
is
but there
kind of
okay, is there also a gay community there?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I get that. I could kinda
Yeah,
see that, yeah.
yeah, me too.
Alright,
That's why I was kinda like I was grossed out by it, but I was also like, "Whatever, you know, that's what they do
right.
here."
Well, I
And,
mean, you go to the Castro District or Boys Town, you would almost kinda be let down if there weren't gay pride flag. No, seriously, like, I'm trying to think, like, if I go to Asia, I wanna see them Asian roofs, kind of the
yeah.
curvy, look like a scaly dragon kinda thing. If it was like, "Oh, look, we became all modern and now it's just concrete buildings like the Germans," I'm like, that kinda would take away from it. But, alright, so I could kinda see it there. Um, yeah, I really don't know, like, I can't let it go. It's like, God, no, I'm
Well,
not doing
how about
tampons.
you find out who it's up to? We think it's up to the individual
It's gotta be
franchisees,
up to the
but
fr I'm su because you would've if it was ordered and dictated to by Anytime corporate, you'd see it all over, and it's not, obviously.
I
Um,
think that was just something that that one individual franchisee chose to do. It may not have anything to do with Anytime Fitness. Maybe they didn't even get their permission to do it. They just did
no,
it.
no, I want well, what, is Anytime Fitness gonna send an auditor every day to make sure everyone's, like, up to snuff? I
No, that's why I think it was just some woke person's idea of fun was
well,
to do that.
obviously, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I did poke my head into the women's bathroom because, like, all the bathrooms are open. I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go to the women's bathroom." I didn't see no, like, cologne or aftershave or Barbasol or, I didn't see anything. I'm just like, "Oh, okay, I got you." But, alright, yeah, well, it turns out I may just end up going to Planet Fitness where you and the kid, you guys love going to Planet Fatness, as you
Love
call
Planet Fatness, yeah.
it.
I don't think they would do something like that, but, you know, I've only been there a few times.
Well, I asked the gal, I went there earlier today, and, they're half the price of Anytime Fitness.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, now here's the thing though, they have a slightly different business strategy. They're larger and I think there's only one Planet Fitness in the Rapid City area. So
Mhm.
now they have a lot more machines and a lot more treadmills and all that, but there's also a lot more people. So I think their overhead per square foot, or however you want to measure it, is a little lower, and so they can be cheaper. Whereas Anytime, it's smaller.
Mhm.
The gym. Well, you went to one, so you know what it's like.
Is Planet Fatness also 24 hours?
I gotta imagine it is. Hang on, let me see.
'Cause the
That's
isn't
a good. Hang on.
I don't think it is, 'cause I think, obviously Anytime is, but I don't think Planet Fatness is. Kids in
No, Chad Elkins, my hero and savior. 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. It is not 24 hours. Well, hang on.
Well, to be fair, would you ever be working out between, midnight and
It's
5 AM?
happened. Yeah. Well, the main reason I went with Anytime was because they're 24/7, and I was motorcycle riding, traveling across the country. I needed a
Mm.
shower. So I worked out in a town called Forney, Texas. I sent it to Matt.
Horny.
Yeah, I sent it to Matt before I was like pulling in at 3 a.m. I'm like, I'm gonna get it and hit the
Horny.
shower. Um, Hang on. I should type is Planet Fitness. uh Planet Fitness, Uptown Rapid, open 24 hours. Planet Fitness, Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness gyms are here. Oh, Chad Elkins from Quora. Isn't Quora replacing Reddit?
It should, because Quora is just as good, I guess. I mean,
Okay, here you go. Not one single Planet Fitness gym in Arizona is open 24 hours. They are lame for still touting that most of their gyms are 24/7. Oh, so it's no guarantee. Not anymore. Before they closed in my state in March, 2 full weeks before, the governor ordered all gyms and other certain businesses closed for 30 days. They were open. Okay, so it sounds like COVID might have had an effect on this.
could have.
Um,
They're probably open, long enough that it's not gonna matter that much.
yeah, and maybe my lifestyle has changed. Like, I'm not staying up past midnight. I
I
don't
can't
want.
believe you're awake right now. When you called me and you were like, "You wanna stream?" I'm like, "Are you in
I'm
Hawaii or something?"
no, I just well, no booze, and I got here late last night. I slept in till about 8. Dude, I
Slept
did
in
a
till 8.
ton of freaking work on just stupid crap that had to get done. Um, yeah, no, I don't know. I get it done, and then tomorrow I can do asshole consulting, and I have this dream. I have a dream, chat, that all the projects in the house will be done, and then I can go run around and enjoy the Black Hills. Yeah, you're right. It sounds like it's kind of case by case basis. Let me see. Planet Fitness in Rapid City.
It was a nice one there.
Yeah, it says 24 hours. Let me take a look. Planet Fitness, Las Vegas.
I actually thought the Anytime was kind of a hike from, where you lived there.
The Anytime. It is. Well, we got to drive into town. It is a drive from Hermosa to Rapid. 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. So for the vast majority of my workout, all the Planet Fitnesses in Vegas are 24/7.
Hmm.
And then the one in Rapid City is 24/7. So maybe just for financial savings.
Hmm.
Yeah. But all right. Well, you guys can all enjoy tampons in the men's bathroom. That's all I have to say about that. Should we do some super chats?
Yes, indeed. Some
All right, let's
familiar
do.
faces in here.
Oh, what acerbic thing does Cynic have to say about me? Yeah,
Cynic.
okay.
Cynic for $2. Cappy, isn't it past your 6 p.m. bedtime?
I'm not that old yet. I know. Oh, I played poker for the first time in like 6 months with the guys.
You did, and you said you did well.
I did well. 4th place out of the top 3 places played. I was just that close, and had a better hand, and other cards were dealt, and somebody had a slightly better one. So, but I was that close. But it was good. It was good to know the old Capmeister still has it.
Congrats. Nonstop Dre 360 for $2. But Cappy, how else will Punjab get the girls?
I think I would. I want to have some East Indians living in the United States, either from India or ethnically, but Indian Americans.
Mhm.
I would love to hear their dating stories.
Hmm.
I would love to hear them talk about like what, you come here, like, whether you're an immigrant or whether you were raised here, I would just love to hear about it. But yeah, I think many of them are still under the impression that if they work for Silicon Valley, who you see, you could tell they're off. Chad, does Tesla make girls' panties drop?
Not I don't think so, although the
Like,
stock, if they knew what the stock was once worth, it might.
yeah. So you're over there in California or any programming
Texas.
hellhole, and oh, Tesla, because when I'm in Vegas, I see a lot of immigrants, Asian in particular, and all forms of Asian, whether it could be East Asian or Indian, Middle Easterners. They all got these Teslas, and they think they're cool. It's like, no, no, that's the Urkel drives that. Like, you need a Mustang, you need like a muscle car. Not even the Corvette. The Corvettes are overrated. Like, you need a really cool car, and a Tesla isn't it. But they're like, but this is the fancy one. It's like, no, it doesn't count. But you see that you could see they're still under that assumption that, okay, I will get my master's in computer science, I'll become senior software engineer, I'll get my Tesla, and then I'll get the girls. It's like,
Yes.
no, you won't. No.
I have been seeing a ton of Teslas out here lately. I mean, a ton.
Who drives them in Chicago? Is it kind of more distributed?
Uh, I see all races and ages here. I see
Okay.
driving Teslas. Yeah, and I know these are not cheap cars, so
No, no,
I
but
don't know.
in Vegas skews very much Asian, and I'm
Oh, yeah.
thinking it's because they're higher income earners, some kind of Silicon Valley, like, I'm assuming they work in tech, and they believe the Kool-Aid about Teslas being cool. And that's like, yeah, it's only for the street shitters of San Francisco. Once you step outside that, it's like the guy with the classic Mustang is going to beat you.
I've seen a lot of boomers driving,
Mm,
Teslas around here. But anyway,
mm.
wholesome DJ Aftershock for $5 gave worthless to a younger family member of mine. Now he has a full scholarship to Duke, double majoring in computer engineering and computer science with a minor in econ. Well,
Well,
bravo.
he went too far. He just needs to choose one.
It's full
Choose one.
scholarship to Duke. Duke is something like 35K a year, something like that to
That's pretty
tuition.
cheap, isn't it?
Maybe
35K
it's
a year now?
more. Maybe it's more.
Well, well, he's got a full scholarship. Okay, so yeah, might as well. Oh my God, look at this! Look at this, Chad!
Whoa!
Oh my
What have
goodness!
we got here?
We
Gary
got a
Mercado.
we have the best man. He's a great man, a wonderful man, Gary, and it has nothing to do with the money he gave me.
49.99.
Mm.
I'd love to see a series of Cappy and Chad doing a deep analysis of how broke these woke companies actually are. The cold hard numbers with Cappy's searing sociological truths would be very entertaining for non NPC 1099er geeks like me. It could be
Well,
a fun show.
it could be, but uh maybe I'll save Gary a little bit of time, and he could do it himself. But two things: one, Gary, you could easily learn how to read an income statement. If you know a budget, you know how an income statement works. And the only thing that matters is if the company is profitable. That's it. So you start at the top, and there's their revenues, how much money they took in, then they list all their expenses, and then net income or net profit, that's the same thing, or net loss if they lost money. There's your answer. And so eh, that's the one thing. So you could do this yourself if you didn't want me and Chad to do it, or you're very curious. The other thing is, you don't even have to go that far, because one, sometimes the company is privately held and their financial statements are not made public. And I think Reddit is either privately held or it's a subsidiary of Condé Nast, and they didn't publish the figures or break them out. Like Google does that with YouTube. No one really knows if YouTube is profitable or not, because Google or Alphabet doesn't break out their own separate income statement. But when it came to Reddit, we already had our answer, because when you looked at, okay, I searched, is Reddit profitable? We couldn't find anything about their profit, because there is none. They'll tell us about their sales. They'll tell us about how many subscribers they got. They'll tell us how many employees they got. If they were profitable, they'd be touting that stuff right off the bat. And so when it's masked or hidden, uh, 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 a tech company goes public, or you have a tech company, that's the first thing they'll announce is their first quarter profitability. It'll be all over the news. Reddit is not profitable. It's not. And that's further corroborated by the fact they need to keep getting outside investment and fundraising. They're really a nonprofit is what it is. So if you don't, if you're like, where the hell's the profit? Where's their press release? When do they announce that they're profitable? They're not profitable.
Well, maybe it'd be fun to like line up like 10 of them without having looked it up in advance and do a show and just make predictions about what we think. And then we look it up and we're like, oh, yeah, I knew that one was worthless.
Well, I did look at Disney's finances because I've been binging on a lot of movie reviewers like Critical Drinker and It's a Gundam and Endymion and all these other guys. And they're intelligent people, don't get me wrong, but they don't know the difference necessarily between sales and profits, and certainly not cash flow from operations, cash flow from investing, cash flow from financing. So I did a thing like, okay, look, the biggest mistake everyone makes, for example, Bud Light just lost $7 billion. No, Bud Light did not lose $7 billion. Anheuser-Busch did not lose $7 billion. They didn't have $7 billion in their bank account and went away. Their stock price went down cumulatively for the entire company by $7 billion. Yeah. They're worth $120 billion. And that's like, so that's not a purposely, but yet still misleading misinformation. And so I went through and looked at Disney. And Disney, yeah, their movie and content creation division, they're not necessarily unprofitable, but they're getting there. Their profit margins are definitely going down. I think some divisions had a loss. They are totally bailed out by their theme parks. Their theme parks are cash cows. So they're not doing well, but they still have the theme parks to bail them out.
So you're going to need, non-woke people or conservatives to stop going to see The Rat, either in Orlando or LA or.
I saw so many table-pounding conservative men in Minnesota. I can't believe the Democrats. Oh, rah, 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 rah. And then take out money out of their 401ks or co-sign a loan so their worthless daughters could go to freaking McAllister, some other overpriced piece of shit liberal arts college for some worthless joke of a degree. Oh. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. You fuckwits are gonna. So it won't change. It won't change.
Breaks the heart.
Yeah. But thank you very much, Gary.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Thank you very much. Thunderbolt and Lori Lightfoot.
Did you get the joke?
Yes, I do. And I miss Lori Lightfoot. I'll say it because this new guy is worse. For $3.
Right, but do you understand the play on Thunderbolt and Lori Lightfoot?
Yes.
Okay, you do. Have you and your dad seen that movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I also like the picture of Lori Lightfoot there. For $3. The tampons are for me. Well, you don't have a need for them now. Do you?
Yeah, she doesn't have any eggs left. All right.
My truth for $2. More cash to share. That is all.
Cash.
Hey,
Adriano Ramos, look at him. He's been for a while.
Oh, well, $10 Australian. Reports from the field. Went to Putin land to meet a gal. Gave my mom a heart attack because of the situation there. Had a wonderful 1 month, but she doesn't want to settle down. It's crap everywhere. In Russia, huh?
Yeah. Adriano's very interesting. He's Mauritian. No, that's Madagascar.
Mauritius.
Isn't that an island off of Alaska? Africa?
I believe it is. Yeah, there's Madagascar and there's Mauritius. Yeah.
Or is Mauritius mainland?
Mauritius, I don't think is mainland. I think that's an island. Yeah.
In any case, he ain't from England or Mexico. He's from a different, unique, exotic part of the world. I think he was living in Australia for a while, and then he goes up to Russia. Like, Adriano, you got to tell us your stories here. You email me and tell me, give me a story. I'll read it on the internet because it's not a path. I have a client who I can't say where he's from. He just picked up and moved to Dubai and just carved his life out of granite out there. It's a little harder than you'd think. And that's a fascinating story to watch. Some schmuck who like, yeah, I'm from Oregon, man. I'm gonna go become a truck driver. That's not a story. That's not a story. That's
$2 problems. The thing is, he's not in Oregon right now. He's
I
somewhere
know.
else.
We're joking, Chris. You chase tornadoes, which is more than what most of us do. Speaking of douchebags from Texas,
Hey, Dre, $2. He must be working right now. Cappy should use all the tampon to flood the toilets. A bunch of people said you should have flushed him down the
I
toilet.
what I what I was thinking about doing is grabbing them and saying, "Hey, thanks. It's been a very heavy flow month for me. I'm going to use all these. Oh, by the way, you're out of tampons." But I'm like, that's so chicken shit. And
I was more amazed you went there during your hectic week and a half or
no, I'm
whatever.
serious about working out. You see, Rolo, he's on TRT and he's also hitting the gym very regularly.
Oh,
Yeah. Now I'm not on TRT. I hate that shit. Like it wasn't anything because it didn't work. It's just I kept getting welts every time, and I'll save it for later when I'm an old man like Rolo.
you probably don't
Um,
need it.
I know you just have to work out more.
Mm.
Um, I'm more worried about like brain fog, or like the older timers like Thor and Rolo. Well, not Rolo, but Thor and Rich Cooper were like, you're not as aware. It almost isn't even about like getting jacked or swole. It's just like being more mentally alert. And
You
I'm
lose
pretty
your
mentally.
hair on that, I'm pretty sure. It gets really thin.
Yeah, it does. It does. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll just not do that. Um, but yeah, I wanted to go to the gym. That was the closest one
Mm.
to where I was staying. But hopefully, I never have to go back. I will
I can't see how
never.
you will need to. By the way, how long are you going to be on your own bacheloring it up?
Just a week and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. So for all the single redheaded, big tittied redheads that want to come fly into Rapid City immediately, you got 7 days. That's no, it's kind of nice. Like a lot of people like, oh, it's great to be away from the wife, and it's like, yeah, it kind of is, but it's like, oh, there's no one to talk to here. Um, but the thing is, she lets me do what I want. It's not see when you're like, she's finally not here. It's like, well, that's because you let her rule your life, and she's like, you're not gonna play video games. Like, rah, 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 rah. She's like, well, why you go play video games? I'll let you know when dinner's ready. It's like, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you,
So
you wouldn't have popped on a stream this late if she was there, though. That's what I'm saying.
I might have.
Yep.
Like back in the day, she'd fall asleep because she had a real job. At a reasonable hour, I'd go out and drink and go to Perkins and write, and I'd come home at like 3 a.m. or something. But yeah.
Yeah, I ain't up to much these days.
Do you even go out to the bars regularly, or you just kind of
A few times a week, sure.
okay, all right? But
Yeah.
like, I'm just kind of curious, like not busy season anymore. You go to the gym or you go get your
Mhm.
run. You go hang out with different superheroes of Chicago that I know, and then I mean, what happens on 7, 8 o'clock? You just call it a night and stay in, or what?
That just depends who wants to hang out. I mean, there's a whole group here who is a bit like us, who doesn't have a real job, and some of them even they've already got earned their money for the year, like I have. So it's just like, hey, you want to hit X bar down in Lakeview? Is there a Cubs game? No, good. There won't be a bunch of drunk shitheads there. Let's go.
That'd be cool. That would be cool. I remember those days living in a city when I had friends. Those good times.
Hat and Clogs for $2. Happy Cappy month. Hey Chad. Hey Hat and Clogs.
Thanks, Hat.
Thanks, man. Ass Bucket 62 for $2. Did you visit Nicollet Mall when you were in town?
I did not. No, I did drive through the Twin Cities. I drove past Ghettos in the Sky where I used to stay back in the college days. Well, I was all over. I had to visit friends, dental appointment, but I did not go to the
Not
Nicollet Mall.
no
Did
Mexican dentist.
no, I didn't go to the Mexican dentist. No, I went to a blonde Norwegian, no, German dentist. Yeah, there's no reason to go to the Twin Cities. There just isn't. And I'm not talking about the crime. The crime would deter you, but there's no incentive to go into the Twin Cities. And I love seeing them like, oh, that new restaurant is opening up. It's like it'll be closed in a year,
Yeah.
and it's not anything different than any other bar. So, plus the suburbs have expanded enough that traffic has gotten bad enough that it's an hour one way in many instances just to get to the Twin Cities. So it's not cost effective. And I know how important it is for Minneapolitans and St. Paulites that people don't waste their gas on greenhouse gases. So it's probably best that people stay in the suburbs and have their money and their dollars spent out there.
Did Pavarotti's or Sebastian Joe's shut down?
No, they're still there.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure. But I'm not going there anymore. Their ice cream kind of went to pot. They got all Black Lives Matter. It's like, okay, see ya, bye.
Wholesome DJ Aftershock for $2. Oh, nosies! Affirmative action is going away. Is it?
Is it?
Hmm.
What? Oh no, that's Wiz Division Production. I thought DJ. I'm like, oh yeah, and DJ's black, but I don't know if he's black. Wiz Division Production is black. I don't know what are you talking about, Aftershock? Did the Supreme Court pass something? I don't
Whatever it
see.
is, I missed it.
I don't see how it's gonna go away. I mean, it's endemic now. It's a life philosophy of the people. Like, could you? Let's say affirmative action goes away. Does that prevent a company from saying, "Well, we're going to have an affirmative action policy anyway"?
Probably not, but maybe they mean for like official government type
Or like
edicts where you
applying to
have,
government schools or something?
yeah, something
Okay,
like
well,
that.
maybe, yeah.
DJ for $2. Cappy, enlighten chat about Madison and Dane County. Is that in
Madison,
Minnesota?
Wisconsin.
Oh,
Um,
I know enough
th-
about that place.
yeah, you know more about it than me because you have an ex that used to live there. I've just driven through and know about it through friends and growing up in Milwaukee, but it's the leftist shithole of Wisconsin. It's where the rich white liberal assholes hang out. Milwaukee's
She
where the other liberal assholes hang out. Madison is where the Gertie Two Shoes with the money hang out.
The whole time I was with her, Cuddlewooks was like, "We gotta visit, we gotta visit, we gotta visit." And my reply was, "Okay, I'll go to, Madison, Wisconsin, but first you have to come to where I went to grad school." And she's like, "I'm not going to South Bend. Indiana is horrible." And that was my way out of getting out of
There you
ever
go.
having to go
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I was like, "All right, you won't visit mine, I won't visit yours."
I mean, it's not as bad as South Bend, but it's a town of, I don't know, 200,000 people. The capital's there, so you got your political class of Wisconsin
Yep.
assholes. You got the campus, so you got, smug college assholes.
Yeah.
You remove those two things, yeah, it starts. Remember that hilly area over at the place in Norwalk, Wisconsin? Like
Yeah.
how that was picturesque and hilly. Madison starts that, so immediately to its west, that's where that formation starts to happen. But otherwise, it's not an exciting town. If you're under 30 and you haven't lived life, you're like, oh my God, they got so many great bars, dude. Yeah, okay, it's great for some bar hopping a couple nights, but I would not. It's not a tourist. I'd go to the Wisconsin Dells before I go to Madison.
And I've still never been to Madison. Drove all over the state with you, but I've never been to Madison. So
There's nothing there. It's nothing exciting. Honest to God, I'd rather go to Milwaukee because I know there's a couple okay places in
yeah,
Milwaukee. But yeah,
Milwaukee's kind
Madison.
of fun in the summertime.
Well, bring your
A long
armor.
story short, for $2, Chad, do you feel like answering IRS questions? You know what? Sure. If you put it in the form of a super chat, I think Clary deserves to collect on half of
Yeah,
my
or we're
wisdom.
gonna podcast tomorrow. No, Thursday we're
I was going to do
podcasting.
it Thursday if you don't
All
have a
right.
poker game. Yeah,
No poker game on Thursday, so I'll be
cool.
yeah.
Sure. Ask me any questions. Federal Reserve has committed treason for $5. Is there a legal way to get rid of the Federal Reserve,
Of
like their
course.
failure of price stability mandate, for example? Is there a legal way?
Yeah, there's a legal way. Congress could just vote on it. President signs off.
I mean, they won't do it, but
No, they won't do it. No.
yeah.
I mean, there's a legal way to get rid of welfare. There's a legal way to get rid of Social Security. There's a legal way. There's a legal way to remove women's right to vote, but it's not going to happen. In this particular case with the Federal Reserve, the government and Democrats need, once taxation runs out and once no one lends you money anymore, you have to print money to continue on your welfare programs. And so I think the day is rapidly coming where it's going to be a third, a third, a third. It's going to be a third tax, a third borrowing, and a third printing money. And then we're going to have good old Argentinian inflation. You'd be like, like, how like young people today, like they voted for Obama. And admittedly, some people voted for Trump too. And he did the same thing with the money supply. And we increased the money supply eightfold. And now people are confused why housing costs so much. But yeah. I was gonna say, do you remember when there was like that little glimmer of hope that higher mortgage, it's not controlled by the Federal Reserve, but higher mortgage rates was going to like cripple and
The,
crash the U.S. housing
the
market, and then
housing
housing
market,
would
yeah.
finally be affordable. But all these young people, dipshits, didn't go and study the trades, and we don't have enough people to build housing. No matter how many good Mexican roofers and tradesmen we import, who were, by the way, you're wondering who's building the housing? It would be Latinos. Disproportionately. And they're like, there's no, we're going to finally get. It's like, yeah, there's still a housing shortage. Still a
Yeah,
housing
I mean,
shortage.
none of the real estate here in this city and even the surrounding suburbs has gone down at all. I kind of was following all of it.
What I'm no economist, but what do you think importing millions of immigrants, both legal and illegal, do to the availability of housing? What do you think happens?
So if I remember my supply and demand, graphs well enough, when you increase demand but you keep supply the same, that makes the price go up.
Right. And what I love about housing, it isn't like it's optional, like legal or not, they got to be housed somewhere. People
Yeah.
got to stay somewhere. And I just love seeing, especially younger Democrats, not because of age, but because of arrogance and naivete. Like they don't know anything, but they're so sure and cocky and confident of themselves. And they voted for more money, and they vote for more people to come in here, legal or not. And then it's just a Scooby-Doo mystery why rent is so high and they can't afford a house. Meanwhile, Jose busts his ass off putting up some shingles on a roof and can actually afford a modest home. But don't do what Jose did. Heaven forbid. Hey, Jose could probably get his buddy Pablo to do the plumbing, and they could build their own house together for very cheap. But no, you need your precious little McMansion with 5 bedrooms and granite countertops.
One of my oldest and dearest friends who's never seen me just entered the chat. I shout out to Craig Aguil. I can't believe you're here.
Boy, Gary, look
Um,
at this. Gary, you don't have to like pay unless you're like rich. You got nothing else to do with the
wow.
money. Yeah.
Times two. 49.99. Just a quick report from the field from Crap Hole, New York City. I'm a jacked 51-year-old with a six-pack, a few million in the
Okay, he
bank,
does
and the
have the money.
girls
Okay, yeah.
still give me dirty looks. Just finished my house. I'm DR and getting the
Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic and getting the fuck out. Only 5'11".
Gary, I've heard nothing but good things about the Dominican Republic, because Mary Jo is technically Dominican. And I know other men have gone over there. Now there's got to be a drawback. I know nothing is just, oh man, it's just this Caribbean paradise. It's just down south. But let me know, like, is it, if, okay, let's put it this way. You're Dominican or of Dominican descent. Is it getting bad enough? Like where the Dominicans are like, man, we're going to go back to our tropical paradise. I mean, is it good enough down there? People can enjoy. I know housing's cheaper. The women are nicer. I know that. I'm just kind of
I've
like, oh,
never
you're only
been.
5'11", Gary. That's his problem. He's 5'11". How dare you ask out women in this country, Gary, if you're only 5'11"? How dare you, sir?
Clary, it's hard for guys to grow taller.
Actually, it is hard for guys to that. That is true. That's true. I tell you the joke I played on Mary Jo.
What's that?
So I was in Miami on Fresh and Fit, and right across from the studios, more or less, is the embassy for the Dominican Republic
Yeah.
in Miami. And so I'm filming in front of the Dominican Republic, and I say, well, I asked them if they take Mary Jo back, and they said no. And I said, well, I'll give you $1. They said no. I said $5. No. I said $100, and they won't take her back. So I guess we're stuck with her. So she did not find that funny.
Well,
What's bothering? What are you keeping your eye on? What are you doing? What are you?
no, I was just responding to the chat. That's
Oh,
all.
okay. But thanks again, Gary. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Gary, that's super generous, man. Dre for $2. What's you guys' favorite TFM saying? Does he have one?
He's got several, but none of them are coming to mind. Usually say, how's things going? He says, how are you? He says, better than I deserve.
Better.
I don't know if he's got like Better Bachelor has shocking.
Question about TFM. I've been reading a lot last couple weeks because why not? And
Yeah.
is that book of his you occasionally plug? Is that really worth
Oh,
getting?
absolutely. The Way of Monkey book, and hang on, let me promote another book because he's sponsoring, but I ordered it. Land of the Losers.
Ooh.
Land of the Losers on Amazon. Um, this was he ran a website called Nice Guy, a blog. Still think he does. And what he did, well, I'll just read here. This book is a collection of short stories tracing the real international route of one man's attempt to find happiness and fulfillment amid outdated courtship rituals, gender politics gone askew, and the dating circus. Now, note the years he was writing this. This was happened long before you kids had pubes. Originally written between 2001 and 2006 and polished to a bright shine by a small team of dedicated fanatics collaborating across 3 continents, it presents an unfiltered view of a man's true experiences in the dating market as it exists today. I would say today and long back ago. Like it wasn't like, oh, these girls are just great in the 90s. It was not that case.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, look it up. Look up Land of the Losers on Amazon. The artwork is pretty good too. It's kind of neat.
Land of the Losers. But you think that Way of the Monkey book
Way
is
of
worth
Monkey
reading?
book, it's actually quite apolitical and it doesn't have anything. It's all philosophy.
Okay.
You could stand and learn some stoicism. Everybody could, but I think
Sure.
it'd be a very good book to pick up and read.
All right. I'll get it
And
tomorrow.
yeah, and I read it. It's not like TFM said, "Hey, I'll pay you if or I'll co-promote." Like I read his stuff, and I'm like, "Wow, this is really good, very good indeed." Oh, that is nonstop Dre. Okay, here we go.
Long story short, for $5, where did all the leftists get the idea that the IRS is massively underfunded? They claim that the rich aren't being audited because of this. Can I field this one?
Yeah, of course.
So, despite me wearing the shirt and joking, defund it, the IRS actually is drastically defunded. Like, it's true. Like, Congress have been cutting their funding for years and years and years. And I did a whole show on this, God, probably almost a year ago. But it's actually not bad that they're getting more funding. Like, there's people to answer the phones now. Like, the stuff's getting resolved a little bit quicker.
You're getting your refunds faster.
People are getting their refunds faster. Like, things are getting resolved quicker. You can actually get a human being without being on the phone for like 3
Mm.
hours. So, I'm not gonna say they deserve all the funding in the world, but they did need to get some funding. I mean, their computer
Yeah,
systems are still based in 1987, so
yeah. No, it's. I'm for a lean and efficient IRS. I mean, here's the thing: the IRS don't come up with the code. It's like the IRS just enforces the code. I mean, if you have a problem with the IRS, that's why we vote.
Yeah, like, they're tasked with this, like, kind of impossible situation here where they don't get funded and, there's obviously, all these people in the country, and they gotta deal with them.
I still the idiocy of like we're going to give everybody a social security number and everyone's going to file a multi-page tax return and this one bureau or service is going to analyze them all. Like just okay, that sounds like the dumbest idea ever on how to collect taxes, but all right.
Now, I am interested to see how much of that extra funding does go into more audits. And remember, starting this year, anybody who got more than $600 from anything, you could have sold a TV, on PayPal, gotten $600. Now you're getting a 1099. So that's going to back people up. That
Mhm.
wasn't the IRS's doing, though.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, I put a link to that Land of the Losers Kindle edition
Oh,
in the book. You can get it hardcover, but just search like Nice Guy, and you'll find it. Also Turd Flinging Monkey, that's available on Amazon.com, The Way of Monkey book. I
I'll
think
get
we're all
it.
caught up.
Yeah, we are.
Okay,
Do
cool.
you have anything else?
Yeah, I do. Would you like a story?
Sure, but I'm going to take my melatonin.
Oh boy, you got your melatonin. Man, look at you. You
That's,
sure you
that's
don't want
it.
to go? You sure you don't want to go ramble around Reno with a buddy of ours and put things in our bodies and then like worry about scorpions crawling out of the ceiling?
Kind of sad he didn't pop on here, but he's probably doing
He's
something else.
hey, he could sleep for the next month and a half. He deserves it. He could. I'm glad to see him playing Diablo 4 and just goofing around. He's got a big old smile.
Yeah.
I got to call him and talk to him and see how like his health is going because I'm sure the sleep is just doing wonders for him.
I sent him some cigars the other week.
Oh, did you? Oh, good. Is that chewable?
Magnesium.
Oh, magnesium. Oh, I gotta take my pills too.
Our dentist friend was like, "You ought to start taking that at night," and it has helped.
Yep. To help you sleep or work
Just
out?
mellow you out, chill you out, and you relax. It's good. It's good for you. Magnesium.
Yeah, your friend. You know what would chill you out?
Well, I know what would
Along with your
chill
friend.
me out,
Well,
but
I know what would chill you out. Yeah, everyone knows what would chill you out. But your buddy and you would. I think if you guys watch more sports ball,
sports ball. Well,
we.
your team is going to win it all
I
tomorrow.
guess.
So.
And guess what? I guess Denver won.
Oh yeah, the basketball,
Yeah.
Denver. Yeah,
Yeah. I didn't know because I got up and a friend of mine at a bar I was going to, she's like, "Yeah, Denver won." I'm like, "What did they win?" She's like, "Oh, you're one of those people." I'm like, "I don't watch sports." She's like, "Denver won the NBA championship." I'm like, "Oh, who were they playing?" She's like, "Miami." I'm like,
Miami.
"Oh,
Yeah,
was James?" So LeBron James lost. She's like, "No, he's at the LA Lakers." I'm like, "Okay, I couldn't care less." I really couldn't care less.
he hasn't been on Miami in like 5 or 6 years
I don't care.
or
I don't
longer.
care. Don't.
Anyway,
So is the NBA poverty? Is basketball poverty ball or soccer poverty ball? I know soccer is poverty ball because poor countries play it. But could that be poverty ball because people who watch it tend to be poor?
I guess it could be. I mean, think about it. To play something like American football or lacrosse or hockey, you need all this equipment, and it's expensive. But I mean,
Oh,
basketball,
to
you just
actually
need a hoop.
play it. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, I
But
suppose.
soccer is obviously you don't need any money to play soccer.
Right. Okay.
Um,
We'll go with that. Um, let me take a look. Oh, we do have some more.
well, you had a story. What was?
Oh yeah, I got to stop. I'm just looking at the super chat. Oh, so I can't say the state and I can't say the town in the state, but let's say it's a state that I hate, like Illinois, and it's a town like Winnetka. Okay, so you following me? Okay,
Yeah.
there's a state I hate, and there's a town, and it's like Winnetka or some other pretentious asshole town that everyone in the state hates. So it was graduation this past month across the country, and I got some inside baseball about a person who graduated from high school attending a high school graduation party in this town. Okay, this pretentious town filled with assholes.
Okay.
Now, a dude bro graduated senior. Okay, this kid graduated from high school. A dude bro is drinking at this high school graduation party. What's wrong?
Well, you shouldn't be doing that at that age, first of all, even though people do it.
Okay. And why should he not be doing it?
A lot of underage people around you.
No. This is a high school senior or graduate. He's 18.
Oh, yeah.
He's drinking.
Oh, because
What's
he's
the
gonna
first
drive.
thing wrong with this story already?
Well, he's underage, but do we think he's gonna drive? Is that where?
It's illegal. It's
Yeah.
illegal. All right. I'm not saying ethically he shouldn't be drinking or principle. That's a different argument. But you shouldn't be drinking underage. All right.
Did you have a beer or some alcohol before you turned 21? And be
I
honest.
did not. I
You
did
did
not drink
not.
it. I couldn't afford it. And I did
Really?
not. Yeah, I had my first. I didn't even drink on my 21st birthday because the bars were closed. My 21st birthday was on a Sunday in Minnesota, land of no fun. The bars were closed, so I drank Mountain Dew, and that was fun. All I'm saying is this is already off to a bad start. 18-year-old graduating from high school, got accepted to a college. I won't say where. Drinking. Party goes a little loud. What happens in prestigious towns with a bunch of rich assholes when parties get a little loud, Chad?
They call the cops
The
to break up.
cops. Right. Okay, now 18-year-old dude boy, frat boy, douchebag. Not even a frat. He's not even in. He hasn't even gone to college. Graduated the day before, celebrating the day of, has his future in front of him. He's drunk.
He got arrested, didn't he?
Oh, it's worse. Cops come in, What does this dude, bro, who's going to make business and big deals, bro? I'm going to make it. What does he decide the best course of action is to do at that time?
Please tell me he didn't attack or put a hand on the police
He
officers.
did not put a hand on the police officer. He put a fist in the police officer. He hit a police officer. And why are you sad? This is a funny story. You have this rich, pretentious asshole from a
I
Winnetka-like town
know,
where
but
everyone's a dick, and he's like, this dude, bro, he literally had a hat on backwards. All
I
right.
have too much empathy. I did
Parents
some dumb
shoving more
stuff.
money up his ass than the welfare department shoves up everyone we make fun of in the poor parts of town. All this unearned money shoved into this one prick. He thinks he's the coolest guy ever. He gets drunk the day after graduating from like his prison. This is like graduating from or getting out of prison for 13 years, right? This would be if our buddy Atham graduated from college and punched a cop the next day.
So he punched a cop. I assume they cuffed him and took him.
He is a and how old are you when you are a senior, a graduated senior?
18.
So you are a child?
You're not a minor when this happens. You're going to be tried as an adult. um,
So what happened in 48 hours?
oh, so he's in jail. He had to go before a judge. The judge probably set his bail or
I don't know, no. What I that's probably what happened 48 hours after he punched the cops. But what I'm saying is in 48 hours, look at how dramatic one's life trajectory went
yeah.
because you were dumber than shit. Okay, look, get drunk, fine. But if you can't handle it and you punch a cop, you went from graduating from a prestigious public school, okay, where a bunch of rich kid assholes go. You got accepted to a college. Now, I don't think he had a future anyway because I'm going to guess this guy's a douchebag, was going to major in marketing or business, all right, because he was going to work hard. You're at the peak of your celebration. You might even get laid that night. You have one too many. The cops get called. You punch a cop. I don't know if you could go to school. Don't these schools have like requirements? Like you can't have a felony or like not last week. He might actually be in jail now that I think about it, so he may not even be able to attend college. And hang on, let me look if assaulting an officer a felony.
I
Simple
mean,
assault against a law officer and an inmate causing by a class 6 felonies. Oh,
probably
that's
got
South Dakota.
pleaded down to a misdemeanor is my guess. He had to do some community service, pay a fine, which is mommy and daddy did.
Well,
You
I
know,
mean, maybe the judge goes light on him. And this
that's what
is
I think probably happened.
Yeah, and this is a Democrat state, so we just love our criminals so much. So maybe they'll give him an award. It's a violent felony,
It's
so
yeah, you
no
just
matter
can't
the
hit a
type.
yeah.
Yeah. So this kid now has a criminal record, and now I know for a fact, like he can't work. I think FBI, CIA, cops. Like there's several. He's eliminated like a significant percentage of the places he could go and work.
Yeah.
So is this a good story, or a bad story?
For you, it's a good story. For me, it's kind of a medium story because I think he can't work at certain places, but ultimately he probably wasn't going to anyway. I think that the guy's going to be fine. He learned a valuable lesson, hopefully, and nothing like that'll happen again.
Wow, I thought you were going the right direction. I thought you were going to become bad Chad, and here you are, nice guy.
Uh,
This is a reason to rejoice. This smug little prick asshole without mom and dad hanging around. They think it's just the greatest thing ever because it's my genetic material. And from a pretentious asshole place. And he's going to major in Dubroness, and he just fucks up his life. I think it's a great story. I think it's a wonderful story.
I think it's a story. I think it's a good story too. Only if he learned a valuable lesson and his life wasn't ruined. Dude, I did a
Dubrow.
lot of dumb stuff when I was 18, and
Did you
yes, I
punch
was
a
drunk.
cop? Did
No,
you
I
punch
never.
a cop?
No, no, but these guys don't know what they can and cannot handle in terms
I
of alcohol.
I understand drinking underage. I get it. I even understand DWIs. Um, people are not perfect. I understand it. Punching a cop. Okay, buddy.
I'll tell you a story. I got arrested when I was 18.
Oh, yeah? What'd you do?
It was my freshman year of college, and I went to go see my sister one weekend down at her college. And so, of course, I'm hammered. I'm around my sister and her friends.
Mm.
So, they and we were tailgating outside of a football game. I shouldn't say I got arrested. I couldn't hold it in, and I had to go take a piss. And so I just
Public
thought
urination?
it was public urination. A cop found me, and he's just like, "Have you been drinking?" And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Yes, you have. Look, I'm not going to get you for underage drinking, but don't walk up to cars and pee on them." So he did give me a
That's
citation. It was
that's not under
nothing.
arrest. You got a ticket.
And yeah, but it was on my when you get your CPA license, you have to like state every little.
Public urination. All right. Well, I don't know
So
if
I
you and
did
I
have
could
to
be
say
friends. I
that.
mean, did your family disown you?
They didn't disown me. In fact,
Y
oh, even better story. They never knew about it because I paid the fine, to the whatever for the
Yeah.
ticket. And then when my parents moved from Texas to New Mexico, about 6 or 7 years ago, I had kept this thing in a box of my stuff and they never knew about it. And so as they're packing everything up, my mom's going through boxes and she sees this notice from like 1997. She takes a picture of it, texts it to me, and says, "What was this all about?"
Why'd you save the notice?
Pride. No, I think I just forgot about it, and I was like keeping it for my records for some reason. But
Only an accountant would keep a citation.
or maybe she found it in an old textbook or something. But I just
Why
thought
would you keep it, period?
I don't know. I mean, we do dumb things when we're
I
18.
know, I know an accountant that says tremendously stupid things where I'm like, "You're not gonna use that." "Oh, no, I might." I'm like, "It's on the internet now, you can look it up."
But I mean, that cop could have really busted me hard. He could have given me an underage, like he could have.
He could've. You're right. A
Yeah,
cop coulda get I look, I've done worse. I could have gotten busted for assault, you
really.
know? Yeah, bar fights, not like a lot, but, I'm an angry still to this day man, but imagine me hungry, no food, no income. I mean, I had income, but, like, living in piss cold and just oh god, yeah. My fuse if you think I have a short fuse now, you should have seen me when I was younger. Um, anyway, but it never dawned on me like, "Hey, you know what? I should hit a cop."
That admittedly, that's just a whole other level of stupid.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah.
all right, let's, continue on with a couple more super chats here.
Cynic in Chief for $5. Thanks for distraction. I'm having to manually edit medical report templates, and it's very boring. Ooh, it sounds boring.
Wow. Yeah. See, I get it. I will still applaud Cynic because why does he make so much money?
Probably because he's working round the clock.
And he does boring work too, like some accountants we know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, but accounting work is boring. I'm getting sick and tired of people coming up to me like, "Oh, I don't want to major in that." I'm like, "Why not?" "Well, it's boring." Like, what do you think? You make money doing the fun shit that
You think
everyone
it's a
wants to do?
party?
Yeah.
Long story short, for $5. Chad, I'm a full-time eBay reseller. Other fellow reseller YouTubes claim they can expense unsold inventory. What should I tell them? Clary, let's test your accounting knowledge if you feel like it.
All right.
What can you do with inventory that you did not sell?
Well, I mean, if you're not going to sell it and you have to get rid of it, like dispose of it, yeah. I mean, but you already have that. It's already expensed when you paid for it,
Mm-mm. See, inventory is a balance sheet item because it's an
right?
asset. And you know how when you sell something, you have what's called
Deduct cost of goods
cost
sold,
of goods
right?
sold. Yeah. But you can only match the cost of goods sold against the revenue if you
Oh, the
actually
matching
sell the
grid. Yeah,
item.
yeah.
But you
Okay.
weren't entirely wrong because if there's inventory that's like incredibly obsolete that you're never going to like
Right,
sell, yeah,
decayed, right, yeah.
that's a loss. Like, why do you think you'd see kids in the middle of Africa wearing like, Buffalo Bills Super Bowl t-shirts when they never won the Super Bowl.
Right, because they
were
couldn't
never going to
sell them. Yeah,
sell.
they were never going to sell. Right.
So
I'm
they
just
were
I'm just
donating. Yeah.
other fellow researchers claim they can expense unsold inventory,
No.
but yeah, but from a cash flow perspective, you already paid for it.
Yeah, it's an asset. Like, it's not an expense. It's an
Right.
asset. It's on the
Right.
balance
So
sheet.
all it does is you
It's
just
like
write it
cash.
off. Yeah, you take it down on your asset, and then your equity goes down on the counter.
Well, yeah, it goes down as cash, on the balance sheet, but it's neutral on the balance sheet. It only becomes an expense that impacts your bottom line when you sell it, and then it converts from being inventory to cost of goods sold. Remember, it doesn't become an expense where your profit goes down until it's sold.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it's
All right.
like buying, property, like a printer
Okay.
or something.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's when he says the expenses, like, yeah, it's already been expensed. So, uh,
Mm,
no.
anyway,
Well, believe
not
Chad,
really.
not me.
Uh, Ass Bucket 62 for $2. Gonna keep the saga of the blue rubber
Right
band
there,
going.
baby. Right there. And look, just in case that one goes down, look at that.
You got another.
Got another one. Look at
It's your
that.
trademark.
You know what? If you guys raise me, oh, that's right. I still got to sell my college degree, don't I? I
Yeah.
got to auction that
I
thing
thought you
off.
already did that.
No, I didn't. It's just stupid house. It's like not even bad things. It's just like, oh yeah, I got to do this. I had to mow again today. Like certain parts of the yard get more water than others, so I had to mow again. Not the whole damn thing, thankfully, but it's just like all this crap. And I
What
tell
else?
you, I had to add chemicals to the hot tub. It was just so,
Oh.
oh my goodness.
Thing is, if you had nothing to do, you'd be all jittery. So you have to have something to do.
No, I know exactly what I do. I'd go out and have more fun. I'm gonna need like 2-3 days of nothing and playing video
Mm.
games, but I would definitely go more hiking and motorcycle ride. You know this, like once you come right off of work, it's not like, okay, the very next day, let's fly to Portland. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's I haven't been able to calm down because I was over in Wisconsin and Minnesota for so bleeping long, and I just come back here like, oh, I gotta mow.
Wholesome DJ Aftershock for $2. Every day I need attention is your gut feeling, and I know you're not going
Oh,
to tell us where it was,
no,
but
I will not say where it was. That's a good guess, but that's not where it was. But I'm sure that scenario has played out. Maybe not the punching of the cop, but that's
my truth for $2. Didn't that cop know you can get uromycetosis? Uromycetosis.
I don't know what
Uromycetosis.
that is.
Uromycetosis. Yeah, huh. I'm
I
missing it.
You got me. So. All right, well that's about it then. Anything else?
No, that's it with the super chats.
Cool. Yeah. So link below. Chad, I got a lot of cool stuff, don't I?
You have some stuff.
I'm not talking the things I own. I offer some cool things. One that your workout buddy just absolutely loves.
Oh.
Of course,
Yeah, I
the
instigated
dad.
that one.
Yeah. So, link below, you will find links to my cool stuff, including my books, my courses offered through Teachable, which are appropriately titled courses so you can get your financial shit together. Also, link below is my Amazon affiliate link, so you do all your Amazon shopping there. It doesn't cost you anything more. It's just getting into the good habit of doing some, Chad, a little,
Some,
or all
all.
your Amazon shopping there. And I get a 5% commission and cut. And who pays for that, Chad?
Well, they do, but nobody does. So you get the benefit.
Well, no, there is a loss. Like somebody loses 5%. Who loses 5%?
Well, Amazon.
Well, who owns Amazon?
Jeff.
Jeff Bezos
Yeah,
himself.
okay.
It costs himself and McKinsey to a lesser extent because she's a big time shareholder now of Amazon because she
The
divorced
Washington
him.
Post.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the Washington Post. They pay me too, right?
Yeah.
So if you'd like those fine people to pay me 5% while costing you nothing, you could do that there. And then also link below is my Subscribe Star link to the Subscribe Star channel, where for $2, that's the membership thing because we're snooty and arrogant and we're from the Everyday I Need Attention. For $2 a month, you get access to the Road Trip podcast and Mary Jo and some lingerie. Did I tell you that?
No, is that new?
No, that's all. She just did
Oh.
some cute pinup stuff, nothing fancy. So
That's real quick about Mary Jo. She used to
yeah,
come in on the chats occasionally, say hello.
she's
We don't see her.
busy. She's
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if I invited her, she'd come over. And I should. I shouldn't just assume she doesn't want it. But yeah, she's busy and she makes good money. I know we all give her guff, haha, the cute Latina with big tits. But she is actually Mensa level genius, like smarter than you and me.
Wow.
And she is putting she's not just a cute set of tits. She's putting her intelligence to work and making good money. So, I mean, I'm sure her tits don't hurt in her career. It's not like, oh yeah, those are going to prevent you from going places. But, but she's doing well. She might actually come and visit South Dakota.
Cool.
Yeah, so, all right, that's it.
Real quick.
No.
So the Elkins Accounting Hour.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. The show I was planning on doing was Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. So I'll remind you. Hopefully, you can make it. It's
Should be
always
able
more
to.
fun when you're there.
No.
This is an update about Parker. Parker was my guinea pig. I told him to get the EA. He got the EA. I told him to learn how to do taxes at H&R Block during a busy season, and he did that. So he's going to give us an update about how it went and give you some tips.
I wonder what happens when people do what the older, richer wise men tell them what to do or not to do to avoid the mistakes of the wise men. I wonder if they have success.
I think you're going to find this one more interesting than you might be thinking. You in particular,
Really?
because I talked to him last week and he gave me an update and everything, so I know what it is. But I'm going to ask him again to explain everything that
Okay,
happened.
I am kind of interested because I've
Yeah.
had truthfully, I'm not making this up. I've had nothing but success stories come from my clients.
Hmm.
Like, hey, I followed you and did what you did and blah, blah, blah. And I'm doing really well. It's not like, yeah, I majored in computer science and now I can't find a job. So I am curious to see. I'm going to guess that the curveball of the story comes from H&R Block.
Somewhat, yeah. And it's not so much that it was a curveball, but he's now got a couple of good options. H&R Block being one of them, and there
Really?
may be some other options. Yeah, and I don't know how much he'll be able to tell, but they're you don't just necessarily have to only do H&R Block when you've gone through a busy season, because you may be armed well enough where you can go somewhere else and
Right.
get paid more or
Okay.
start your own thing.
We
There's one more super chat
we
from
do.
Dre.
All right. Nonstop Dre.
$2. Is Cappy pimping MJ as a tax deduction for him?
No, because I don't think
No.
I paid her. I think she just kindly volunteered, which I'm all for. Well, I've said many times before, I always wanted to do kind of like a Playboy-esque quarterly publication, my blog, but I haven't written for my blog in a while. But we could always use female models. Although, have you looked at any of this AI image generation stuff?
It looks real.
Dude, I'd rather deal with that. Honest to God, if I gotta figure out a way to program them or use these generators and to have the girl holding bachelor pad economics. So if I can get the time to not deal with a house and yard work, I think if I can do that, I won't need any girls. But then it kind of takes it away because it's like, well, that's just AI. That's not a real girl, and then people would know.
They look so real, some of them. It's crazy.
They look too good though. The ones that I've seen, it's like, okay, look, that's a 10. I mean, she looks real, but it's like, there's flawless skin. It's like there's no tattoos.
Yeah.
That's kind of the giveaway. Like, that's not a real girl. She's smiling, all these other dead giveaways. All right. Well, I will say toodles, but we should hang out
Soon.
soon.